Quentin Crisp.
I was assailed by two contrary feelings. The first was that here was the long-awaited situation which would need all my powers of survival. The second was that I might easily fall in a dead faint, and it'd be just as well if I did.
Quentin Crisp, you are charged with soliciting for an immoral purpose on September the 28th in Catherine Street, Russell Street, and Tavistock Street. Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Speak up, I can't hear you.
Not guilty.
Sit down, Mr. Crisp.
Thank you, sir.
I swear by Almighty God, the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help him God.
On September the 28th, I was on plainclothes patrol duty in the West End together with Detective Constable J. Robinson. At approximately 6 p.m. in Catherine Street, I saw the accused. He approached and spoke to a man who turned away from him as if offended and walked rapidly away. I then, together with Detective Constable Robinson, kept the accused under observation at a distance of approximately 15 yards while he proceeded from Catherine Street into Tavistock Street, Drury Lane, and then into Russell Street. This was from approximately 6 p.m. until approximately 6:20. During this time, he approached 3 other male persons and spoke or was tempted to speak to them. In each case, after a few words had been spoken on both sides, the person to whom the accused had been speaking turned and walked away from him, looking as if disgusted and horrified. The final occasion I saw this happen was immediately outside the Fortune Theatre in Russell Street at approximately 6:20. I then went up to the accused, I informed him of the charge and took him into custody at Bow Street Police Station.
One must never say that the police are liars.
Do you wish to ask the officer any questions about his evidence?
Stand up.
No. Why don't I wish to question him? Because you must never say that the police are liars.
At approximately 6 p.m. in Catherine Street, I saw the accused. He approached and spoke to a man who turned away from him as if offended and
14 years ago, I ceased to be a homosexual prostitute. Of my own accord, I threw off the burden of homosexuality by transforming it into a cause. I decided to make the problem clear by making it evident. I must now do something publicly to fight for that cause.
looking disgusted and horrified. The final occasion on which I saw this happen was immediately outside the Fortune Theatre in Russell Street at approximately 6:20 p.m. I then went up to the accused, informed him of the charge, and took him into custody.
Have you anything to say, Mr. Crisp?
Yes.
You may say what you have to say from where you are. Or, if you wish, you may go into the witness box, in which case you will be put to oath. Now, which do you prefer?
Well, I can't possibly play my big scene with my back to the audience. The witness box, please.
Take the book in your right hand.
I swear by Almighty God the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Your name?
Quentin Crisp.
Quentin. You are a male person, I presume.
Yes.
Your address? Full address?
97 Bewley Street, London, Southwest 3, England.
Do you deny the facts as given in evidence by the two police officers?
Yes.
Are you saying that the police are liars?
No.
What are you saying, then?
I am saying that I think they were mistaken.
Do you deny that you were in the places mentioned at the times mentioned?
Oh, not at all. No, I was definitely in Catherine Street at 6 o'clock. I remember this particularly because it was then that the two gentlemen who later arrested me came up and spoke to me for the first time.
They what?
They asked to see my papers. I showed them my exemption papers, which say that I am suffering from sexual perversion.
Is this true?
Yes, sir.
It is certainly true that I am a sexual pervert, but I've never been quite sure about the word suffering.
You are a sexual pervert.
Yes.
You are attracted to men and not to women.
Yes.
You go to bed with men.
I have done sometimes, yes.
Do you deny that you spoke to men in the street?
I deny that I approached anyone or that I spoke to anyone before he spoke to me.
But you spoke to men.
Only if they demanded some reply.
In Catherine Street?
I don't think I said anything in Catherine Street. It was there that a man came up to me and said, "Forgive me, you effing pansy, you ought to be locked up." And I didn't reply, because this really didn't seem to demand any reply.
And in Tavistock Street?
I think it was in Tavistock Street that a man came up to me and pushed me in the chest, but I can't be absolutely sure.
Why not?
Because that sort of thing happens to me all the time.
Mr. Crisp, are you saying that the police officers misinterpreted what they saw?
I am saying that they made a very natural mistake. They had seen from my papers that I was homosexual. Good heavens, they could have told from my appearance, as you can now. They were watching me from 15 yards or so when I had these brief exchanges with various men, and it may well have seemed from a distance...
But you are saying on oath that in no case did you make the first approach.
My lord!
No.
I beg your pardon, sir. Sir, look at me. I wear lipstick, I wear rouge, I wear mascara on my eyelashes, I dye my hair, I wear flamboyant clothes, far more outre than those I'm wearing now. I am a self-evident, self-professed, effeminate homosexual for all the world to see. How could I hope to solicit anybody in broad daylight in a crowded London street looking as I do? What would I expect but a curse and a blow? No. My appearance sets me apart from the rest of humanity. It is not easy for me to make human contacts. With strangers, it is almost impossible. I learnt many years ago the golden rule of my life. In public places, I do not speak to anyone unless they speak to me. I do not look at anyone unless they demand that I look at them. It is the only way I know of getting safely to my destination.
Have you anything else to say, Mr. Crisp?
Yes. I have never refrained from any course of action on the ground that it was illegal or immoral. But I no longer ask strange men for money because I do not think that I would get it. Perhaps my very existence is a form of importuning. Otherwise, I am not guilty as charged.
Thank you. Please return to the dock.
Well, I flatter myself London has not seen a performance like that since Sybil Thorndyke's St. Joan.
Do you know he is a homosexual?
Yes.
And yet you say he is a friend of yours?
Yes.
Do you know he is a homosexual?
Yes.
And yet you describe him as respectable.
Yes.
Do you know he is a homosexual?
Yes.
And yet you call him a good man.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Crisp,
Stand up.
have you any other witnesses to character?
About 10, I think.
I am tired of this recital of your praises. There is insufficient evidence to convict.
By which he means the police are liars.
Case dismissed.